everybody, Gina DeLuca here. All right, so today I am going to continue on with this line of experimentation that I've been doing with this new recipe for This Little Piggy Pigments. And I cannot show you what has been happening because those paintings are still wet and I can't move them at this moment. But if you look at the previous 2 or 3 videos, you will see what has been going on. I have been using liquid mirror and also the Treasure Gold by Folk Art. And this time I'm not going to use those. I know that the Folk Art and I know that the liquid mirror creates cells. What's been happening is the pigments have been attaching to the liquid mirror and giving these awesome cells where the pigment has actually attached to the cells, which doesn't often happen. It typically kind of winds up in between as the lacing. So I just want to see what will happen when I use just the pigments without something that I know creates cells. Will it create any cells on its own? I don't know. We're going to find out. So I'm using a smaller canvas here. This is 12 by 12. And the colors that I'm using, I have This Little Piggy Persephone, Golden Peach, Algae, and Aquamarine. They have been mixed with this. So I start with the golden pouring medium matte in the bottom of my cup. I am wearing a mask when I do this. Always wear a mask when you work with pigments. It does wind up becoming airborne. You don't want to get that into your lungs. So I start with the pouring medium in the bottom of the cup. I add the pigment to that and create like a paste. And then I add the heavy gel matte by Golden and basically get that to a tube paint consistency, and then I add Floetrol to that to make it pourable. So that is what we're working with there. I have for the background, same as I've been using because I don't want to change more than I need to, the Amsterdam Permanent Blue Violet. So I know that I've been getting cells with that, but let's see what happens with just the pigments. Will it sell? We're going to find out. If it doesn't sell, whatever. Like I'll wind up painting over it at some point, doing some brushwork, which I really want to do, but my goodness gracious, is this summer super busy and it's just getting started. So fun stuff. I'm doing fun stuff, which is, you know, really nice because there wasn't a whole lot of that for a while. I had a whole lot of years of, you know, just kind of Groundhog's Day. Just do the things, just do the things. Having some fun at last, and it really does kind of help with your mood, apparently, doing things that are fun. So I recommend that if you can do that. Okay. So the consistency that we are working with. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I know it's going to be kind of dark, but let's see. This is a 2 on my consistency scale. It is making a mound, but it disappears quickly. And it's making a nice, thin, even stream off of my stick. If it is getting thick and then thin and thick again, then you need to keep mixing because your consistency is inconsistent. This is about 2 parts paint to 3 parts Floetrol. I'm sorry, 1 part paint to 3 parts Floetrol. That is about what we're working with. And you can see, maybe you can see, that the Floetrol really does lighten up this purple. This is the color that it will be. Floetrol does lighten it up. So if your paintings appear brighter when they're wet, that's why. It's because of your pouring medium brightening it up. If you like it better, how it looks a little brighter, like if you wanted this purple a little brighter, Just add a little touch of white to that to lighten it up, and you'll be good to go. Before we get started, have you seen the Fluid Art inspiration cards? If you have, you can fast forward about a minute, but if you have not, what we have are 52 cards. There are 42 technique cards, and each technique card has an associated video here on YouTube that gives you the exact paint, brand, color, consistency, the recipe, the technique, all of the things that I can't fit onto a card. This is a painting that is in that video. This box contains a tip for this particular technique, and here at the bottom you have the color palette that was used in this painting. And then these two boxes can be used together as the basis of a 2-color palette, or you can build off of those colors. And there are 8 bonus color palette cards. Each one has 5 color palettes. You can use all of the colors or just some of the colors, mix and match the bonus color palette cards with the technique cards, and you have more combinations than you could ever make in a lifetime. So yeah, these are available at my website, ginadeluca.net, and at amazon.com. The first thing I'm going to do is put some paint in my cup. Sometimes I don't leave enough for my cup once I do the base coat, so I like to make sure I have that taken care of. You'll notice I've already covered my edges. The reason that I do that is because when I am doing a straight pour, my mix is thin. I am using Floetrol. That does not give the best coverage on the sides. So I don't want to have to touch it up later, so I just take care of it now. And the reason we lay it on a base coat is we want our paints to slide around evenly and easily. Something has to stick to the canvas first. If it is not your base coat, it is going to be your poured puddle, and the edges of your puddle will stick to the canvas first, and then the center will roll over top of it. And then you lose some of the cool stuff that can happen on the edges. If you wanted to keep that, you wouldn't be able to. And the reason that I use a base coat that is a color in my painting is because it gives me the option of having negative space. If something cool does happen on the edge of my pour puddle, I can just keep it and have the negative space. But also, little bubbles do wind up in your base coat, and if they pop up through your pour, you want it to be something that works with the painting. I have no white in this painting, so if I were using white and little tiny white cells were popping up through my painting, that would bum me out, and I would have to feel like I need to go fix that. All right, let's get all the Bernie 2 times. Never likes, oh, he did like the first try. Look at that, turn me into a liar. I don't know why this thing never likes the first try, but you know, well, I guess I can't say never, but probably 90% of the time it doesn't. Let's put some paint in a cup. I'm gonna basically do the same order that I was doing, but of course omitting the liquid glass and the folk art. Will it sell? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I certainly hope that it does, but I don't know. We're gonna find out. So this is the Persephone. I started with the Golden Peach. And this is the, oh, let's do Aquamarine. not seeing much in the cup that would lead me to believe that this is going to sell. And now for the algae. And I will take some of this base coat color and go over the top. So the theory is, the idea is that matte paints will sell when they are put next to a glossier paint, which the Amsterdam is. However, the pigments are quite heavy in comparison to some standard paints. So, you know, will it sell or will it sink? We're gonna find out. Is that gonna be enough paint? I think it'll be enough paint. We're gonna find out too. I didn't do the math on this, so I'm just eyeballing it. All right. I don't really have anything popping through, so that's not a fantastic sign as far as will I get cells. But let's see what happens. I'm just going to pour straight onto the canvas. Standard straight pour. I'll do a little ring action in the center here just to have something interesting to look at. Maybe. All right, let's pop some bubbles. So as you can see, when you pop bubbles, some of the paint that is underneath does come up with it. That's why I use a base coat that is a color that is in my painting. The question is, will these cells get bigger? That's what we're looking for, is the cells to grow, to have that hydrophobic effect, to push away that glossy paint. Sometimes the stretching will cause the cells to pop up the more you stretch it. I mean, they're getting a little bigger. We'll see if they continue to grow. So when I'm using the liquid mirror, there's a lot more that is popping up by this point. So it's definitely attaching to the liquid mirror. That is having a tremendous effect on the cell making, for sure. And it really is an amazing paint, and I have gotten a lot of paintings out of this little bottle, and still more to come. How many have I got? So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've already done 7 paintings with the liquid mirror. This will be number 8. Or actually, sorry, it's not in here. So I've done 7 paintings. I still have enough in this cup to do another at least 3 paintings. And this is still pretty darn full. So it's pretty much right at the top of this green line is how much is left in there. So that much has given me already 7 paintings, enough for 3 more. So that's 10 paintings just using this much. And actually, it might even be more, because I think there was one that I wound up scraping because we don't need to go into it, but I messed it up. And it wasn't worth showing. I did a good botch job. There was nothing to learn from it, except that sometimes my ADHD is a pain in my booty. All right, so, you know, there's a little bit popping up. They're getting a little bit bigger, you know, but this isn't exactly blowing my mind. So I'm almost wondering, like, if I were to just add a little squirt of the liquid mirror to the pigments. That's going to change the look of the pigments. I don't know. I like experimenting. Okay, because usually this is where all my boulder cells would be happening. And you can see there are more cells here than there are over here. This is where the pop-up cells would normally happen. I'm going to do one more pop here and give it a tilt, and give it a good stretch, and see what happens. And I'm going to come to this opposite corner. I'm going to return to the center, the weight of the paint. I'm going to return it to center before changing direction. You'll know where the weight of the paint is, where it is moving the fastest. That is where you want to pay attention. You can use that to really control the flow of your tilt. All right, I'm gonna come back over to this corner again. And somebody's ringing my doorbell. Sorry, dude, can't help ya. Whatever you're selling, I ain't buying. I'm broke. And I have to adjust for the composition to make myself happy. All right. Just a wee bit more. Okay, I'm going to let this sit. I'm gonna let it do whatever it's going to do. And I will bring you in for a close-up in a bit. Back in a few. Okay, here it is. This is completely dry. I did not have a chance to do my wrap up while it was still wet before I ran out of town. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see all of the flash that's going on here. But this section where it just looks very purple, when it is on an angle, you can see, hi Tucker, you can see the, I guess that's algae showing up. Tucker, what are you doing? And that is, I believe that's the Aquamarine flashing there. But from that angle, you mostly, I think it's the liquid mirror that's attaching to. Oh, I didn't use the liquid mirror in this one. That's right. So this is just the Aquamarine. So I will say this. No, it does not give the same cell making action as if I had added the liquid mirror or some other cell maker and the pigments attached to it, but this is more than I would normally get if I were using a glossy pouring medium, at least as far as like my experience and what I've gotten. And you can see, kind of see how the ones that did make cells, how matte they are in comparison. So, although it does not give bolder cells, it does give a very cool effect. I love how that shimmer from the algae is visible from certain angles. This is going to be another one of those paintings that is multiple paintings in one. But there it is. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. Please do like, share, and subscribe if you did. Make sure you have clicked that bell if you are subscribed to make sure you're receiving notifications of new uploads. I do have an auction coming up on Saturday, July 19th, and I am doing some varnishing for that. So I will have some kind of preview up very, very soon to show you some of the pieces that will be available in the auction. Let me just show you how one of the last pieces turned out while it's dry. This is so super cool. I don't know if you can see all the colors that are going on in here, but I cannot wait to varnish this. It is not cured enough to varnish yet, but I am super, super psyched to see how this turns out once it's varnished. That'll be in the next auction, not this one that's coming up, but the following. But yeah, so Saturday, July 19th at 7 p.m. right here on the YouTube. Do check it out. Check out the description box below for links to my PayPal tip jar if you feel so inclined, my fluid art inspiration cards you can find on my website, GinaDeLuca.net. You can also find my art and music there. Also in the description box you will find the link to my affiliates, and you'll find some coupon codes there. You'll also find the link to our Facebook group. Go make some art. Join us there. Post your masterpieces, ask your questions, get some inspiration. Good times had by most. I think that's it. All right, y'all. I hope y'all have a beautiful day. Now go make some art.